World Trading Secretariat Liam Fox welcomed a new proposal of Tory Brexiteers as a true try to discover overall area. The Brexit Backing Europe study team has set out 3 tests it wants Theresa May to undergo to safe its supporting for her transactions in the EU. They yet wish a period limit to the Irish supporting, but they say they don't reason how is reached. Mrs. May has pledged MPs a voice on her transactions on or up March 12. The 3 tests, painted up by 8 Brexit-backing lawyers, consisting Tories and a DUP MP, is seen as a mitigating of the EU's early position on the supporting, that is intended to hinder the back of a difficult boundary on the Isle of Ireland. They say it is up to Lawyer General Geoffrey Coxon, who is in negotiations in the EU, how he achieves an output arrangement of the supporting. They had previously been needing particular legislative changes to the treaty. He as well desired to dispel the fears of Brexit-backing Tories how Mrs. May's proposed to MPs of a voice on delay the UK's leaving, if her transactions does not get via Parliament, could scupper Brexit. To try to include a latency arrangement in procedure to impede the trial of Brexit by itself is in fact politically fully inappropriate, he said Andrew Marr. Or, as I include told up, would incite a clearance among voters. He did not guideline out a brief latency to Brexit, though if Mrs. May's transactions gets via, in procedure to get the law via Parliament, yet. The UK is due to keep the EU on March 29, in or out of a transactions. MPs recent monthly discarded the departure transactions Theresa May has achieved in the EU by 230 votes, the largest destruction for a meeting by the government in story. Mrs. May believes the most of the MPs who elect versus her transactions, consisting 118 Conservative Party, would behind it if she controlled to safe changes how would hinder the UK creature connected to EU customs officer rules indefinitely. She has pledged MPs else voice on her transactions by March 12, and if how fails, she says MPs will get a voice on if the UK should keep out of a transactions, and later, by March 14, a voice on if Brexit should be deferred for a brief time. Happy modernize your web browser. Sir Graham Brady, president of the powerful 1922 Board of Backbench Prudent MPs, told, largest MPs are in a sentiment to trade off, but the risk of the supporting proper constant is a actual one and it has to be tackled. Receive the supporting of the ERG for her transactions would be a main increase for Mrs. May but would yet not warranty she could get it via Parliament. Several Tory MPs would choose to see the UK keep out of a transactions, quite rather than the PM's transactions, though in changes. And down there are a kind of view during the ERG by itself, in several guideline figures take a more than uncompromising attitude rather than other. Mrs. May could discover by herself reliant on the votes of Labour MPs of keep voting components of the nation, who are in favour of Brexit but wish guarantees of the PM how workers' rights will not drop over the EU following Britain's leaving. Labour MP Caroline Silicon said Sky News story Sophie Mountain Range on Saturday how taking into account the selection among and superior transactions and no transactions, we should severely believe the superior transactions. She told as lot as 30 Labour MPs thick felt the identical path, in though more than versus else EU plebiscite. I believe down there is thing love 60 or 70 Labour MPs who sense as firmly as I do versus a other plebiscite, she told. Think Theresa May meeting in a calc, hard to drawing out if she has any perspective of winner the voice on a new transactions she's pledged in the following 9 days. At first slide, it appears a close impossible problem, and yet present might enable her to appease in several careful hopefulness. Brexiteers include set out their regulation. They're known and they win to be lightweight. But the PM knows which she is necessary to do to win above many decades in her own side. Add to how several Labour MPs, who wish to supply Brexit and include been proposed incentives to get on executive board. The problem is yet a big A. The numbers are yet versus her. But the PM might, believe she has a opportunity. Labour has so far unsuccessful to get MPs to behind its option Brexit schedule, that would see the UK in a constant customs officer association in the EU, and has now told it will try to get a new EU plebiscite. Dark Chancellor John McDonnell offered Labour MPs would be anticipated to voice for an correction inviting for a plebiscite, while MPs voice on Mrs May's transactions on or up March 12. I believe on an question as though we would see a stick, but as well you've got to honour human beings as view and their electoral district interests as so, and the beating location will be established in debate in due year, he said. Sophie Mountain Range. Dark Industries Secretary Rebecca Length-Bailey said Andrew Marr, the Labour management, would as well go on to shove its own Brexit schedule and try to strengthen a general poll. Quizzed on which should be on the voting document in else plebiscite, she told it could be Theresa May's transactions, a quantity of some keep options, and perhaps stay, but it would be up to MPs. Ms Length-Bailey added, "We are not looking to coup the outcome of the plebiscite.